Hey guys, sorry about the cutoff there, ran out of time on that first video. So picking up where we left off, talking about going from small units to big units, you need fewer bigs to equal lots of littles, or to make lots of littles. That's what we left off last time. So we were in the middle of going from inches to feet, and we were talking about needing to divide in order to get there. So I'm going to divide. And remember at the beginning of the second video, I told you that we are always going to be looking at the base number for the smaller unit. So between inches and feet, which unit is smaller? Inches, which we talked about with our ruler. And how many inches make 1 foot? 12. So then we would divide by 12. 24 divided by 12 is 2. See how there's much less big unit compared to all of the little units that you have. Okay? That's it that I want you to write in your notebook. So now let's jump over into your regular book on your 10.1. Turn that first page over, but we are going to do these examples on the back, and I'll try and hurry so that we can get everything through before the time runs out again. Okay, so converting between units, going from one unit to the next, we're going to look at this example here. The distance between the new high school and the football field is 2 miles. How does this distance compare to 10,000 feet? So we're going to be doing a little comparing here, which we've seen before. That's greater than, less than, or equal to. Okay, so it says convert 2 miles to feet. And they got those units because here they said, it's 2 miles away, and we're comparing it to 10,000 feet. So we're looking at miles, and we're looking at feet. Okay? When I have miles to feet, which of those units is the big unit, and which one is the small unit? Miles is the big unit, so for step 1 here, I need to what? Multiply or divide the total number of miles by some number. When we go from big to small, look back at the notes you just wrote down. What operation do we do when we go from big to small? Multiply. And why do we do that again? Because there's lots of little units that make up one big one. You need lots of littles to make one big. So we want to multiply so that we end up with lots of littles. Okay, now I look at the smaller unit, which is feet, and this chart right here is going to get used a lot for this assignment, okay? And you have the same thing written down in your notebook, so you have it in 2 places now. I'm converting miles and feet, so I need to find a conversion that matches that. And it looks like it's right here. 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. So I need to multiply the total number of miles by 5,280. Which is kind of what they set up for you over here already. Total miles is 2 times the number of feet in 1 mile, or that smaller unit, the base number. 5,280. So then you just multiply. I'm going to do it over here because they already kind of have it set up nicely for us. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. So total, 2 miles is 10,560 feet. That's a lot of feet. Miles are a lot easier to use than counting feet, aren't they? Okay, so that's it. That's all you do. It's converted. Now we know how many feet are in 2 miles. Okay, but we're not done with this particular question. It says to compare them. And so step 2 does that. Compare, right, less than, greater than, or equal to. So we found the same, or the number here of feet in 2 miles, which is 10,560 feet, less than, greater than, or equal to 10,000 feet. You guys already know the answer to that. Put your alligator mouth in there the way he needs to be facing. Who does he chomp? Alligator's hungry. He chomps the big number. So, 10,560 feet. Oops. Greater than 10,000. And you can fill in that other blank with the same number too. So, okay. So that's all we do to convert between units. You just take the number that you start with, multiply or divide by the base number of the smaller unit, and that's it. Sometimes they will have you tell if it's greater than, less than, or equal to, and we'll look at some of those examples in a few minutes. Okay, let's look at the second example. This is something else that you'll be seeing. It says convert to mixed measures. Up here, when we converted, we wound up with a nice round number. There's nothing left over when you multiplied, and that's it. That's our number. But sometimes when you convert between them, there's some leftovers. And so this is going to show us how to take care of those leftovers. It says convert 62 inches into feet and inches. So they want to know how many feet and inches are in 62 inches. Now, I'm going to use a different color so you can see what's going on here. This is our first number, and the first unit that we're going into is feet. So we're going from inches into feet. Now let's go back to that first question that we asked ourselves when we took our notes. Which number or which unit is smaller, which unit is bigger? Because that's going to tell us which operation to do. Inches are smaller than feet, so that tells me we're going to be dividing. Okay? And they even tell you here, I am changing from a smaller unit to a larger unit, so I divide. Just like that. Start with the number they give you, 62, divided by, what's the smaller unit? Inches. How many inches are in 1 foot? 12. Okay, they give you some space over here. Do a little division. 62 divided by 12. Pause the video and work that out real quick, and then play it again, and I'll work it out, and you can see if you got the same thing I did, okay? All right, here we go. 12 dividing into 62. Well, I know 12 times 5 is 60. If you've been working on your times tables, your multiplication fluency. And then we subtract. 2 minus 0 is 2. 6 minus 6 is 0. So now we have 5, remainder 2. Which is what they have here. 5, remainder 2. And they tell us which unit to put with each number. 62 inches is equal to 5 feet and 2 inches. And some of your problems today will have you do this, where it's not going to come out a perfect number every time, where you'll have to have some split numbers there. What did they call that? A mixed measure, where you have some of one unit and some of another unit. Okay, I do want to look at this little bottom question here really quick, because you're going to be seeing this in your homework as well. It says, explain how to convert the mixed measures 12 yards 2 feet to a single unit of measurement in feet. And how many feet is it? So I have two different units here. I have yards and I have feet. And they want to know how many total feet there are and how we get there. So basically what we're going to do is look at our bigger unit here, 12 yards. And we want to know how many feet that is. Okay, think back to what we just did. When we go from a big unit to a small unit, do we multiply or do we divide? Look back up on the page if you forgot. We multiply. So we're going to multiply 12 by the base number of the smaller unit. The smaller unit is feet. Now let's go back up and look at that chart here. I need one for feet and yards, which is this one. 1 yard is 3 feet. So I'm going to be multiplying, 12 times 3, which is 36. Okay, so now I know 12 yards is 36 feet, but I've got these extra 2 feet over here. What do you suppose I should do with those extra 2 feet? Tell the adult with you what you think you should do. If you said Adam, you're spot on. So I have 36 feet plus 2 feet, which gives me a total of 38 feet. Okay, so whenever you have a mixed measure like this, you have to choose which unit to turn everything into. It's usually easier to turn everything into the smaller unit just because, remember, the smaller unit in a mixed measure is usually the leftovers. There's not enough to make another whole big unit. 2 inches isn't enough to make another foot. You need 12 inches to make a foot. Same thing here. 2 feet's not enough to make 1 yard. You need 3 feet to do that. So it's usually easier to put all of it into the smaller unit. Okay, hang on to that in your brains for later. We really got to get going. We only have a few minutes left. Ah. Okay, I will do just a few examples with you here. Number 1 through 3, it just says to convert, and actually 4, 5, and 6 are the same. So, 2 miles is how many yards? First, I have to know which is the big unit, which is the small unit. Miles and yards. Well, I know miles is the big unit. And when you do big unit, that means you're going to need lots of little ones. So we're going to multiply. So 2 times something. And here's my smaller unit. That's going to tell me which number to multiply by. So I'm going to go back up to that chart. I need one for miles and yards. Here it is. 1 mile equals 1,760 yards. So that's what we're going to multiply with down here. And they give you room to work, so don't be afraid to use that. If you run out of room, put it on a different piece of paper so that I can see it, okay? 2 times 0, 2 times 6, 2 times 7 plus 1, 2 times 1 plus 1. Looks like 3,520 yards is 2 miles. Okay, and that's it. You're done. You converted. So if someone is ever asking you, I wonder how many yards are in 2 miles, you can say, I know how to do that. And then you can help them do it. All right, let's look down at number 4. It says convert, but we're going into a mixed measure here. How many feet and inches are in 125 inches? This goes back to example 2, the one that we were just looking at. Whenever you have this, you want to take your first unit and put it into your second unit. Okay? We'll worry about this in just a little bit. Whenever you go from a small unit to a big unit, we divide by the base number of the smaller unit. How many inches make 1 foot? 12. So I have 125 divided by 12. 12 goes into 12 one time. Bring down the 5. 12 doesn't go into 5. So I put a 0 on here. Remainder 5. And then I use this to fill in my boxes. 125 inches is the same as 10 feet, 5 inches. Remember, the remainder is that second unit, the leftover. And super fast, comparing 8 feet to 3 yards, you have to change one into the other. This time it doesn't matter. When you convert, you can go either way. I like to go big to small because that's easier for me. So I'm going to say 3 yards is how many feet times here, because big to small. I know that there's 3 feet in 1 yard. 3 times 3 is 9. So now 3 yards is the same as 9 feet. And this is the bigger one. That's all you do on those ones. I am out of time. Good luck on this. Let me know if you have questions, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.